Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. I wanted to share with you a little bit here regarding what's kind of going on, and particularly about my anomaly event. So, you may remember that I talked about an anomaly event. I posted up some comments. In fact, you can see it back over here on my Dow Jones chart or my SPY chart. Talked about an anomaly event setting up somewhere. Here we go. Anomaly. There we go. Setting up into an anomaly right around this time frame and ending particularly around this December 10th, 11th time frame. This is my window here really into this buy zone. We have this lower projected target area here. We have a deeper low projected secondary target here. This is where I think we're going to be looking to try to find our initial move back into early stage investment. We're really, if you get right down to it, guys, we're really trying to buy into kind of this mode and this mode out here. Okay, so when I say that we're looking for a 60-70% investment, we're really looking for wherever this low is. If it's here or if it's here, we're looking for that initial low to set up so that we can kind of try to buy into this recovery phase where we are going to see a bigger rally after the beginning of 2025 and moving into February, March. That's what my predictive modeling has shown. Now, thank you, Google. Now, where we're at right now is with the anomaly event. If you remember, and if I can come in here and get to it, index, TT scanner, here, here, here. Here's the anomaly event window. This is the data that I ran with my adaptive dynamic learning system, which is a predictive modeling system. And this is weekly data. So you can see here, this was the week before, the first week of November. Now we're into essentially the third week in November. We're out right over in this area, right over in this lower area right here. Now let me come in and draw so you can see where we're at. And we are now right in this area, potentially somewhere in this range related to where we're at with the data. And if my analysis plays out the way I predicted 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks ago now, we're going to be moving into a big downturn potentially in the markets. And what set me off with this is real simple, is that you can see this lower range here on the NASDAQ, potentially down into the 460, 464 area, where the SPY moves down into the 560, 565 area. It's still a downward move, okay, but not very aggressive on the SPY. But look at some of these others. XLB, we're looking at a downward potential move into this 92, so call it 91 to 94 area. XLC, communications, we were back up over here. We could be moving down into the 87, 89, 90 area. Doubt we're going to get down into these lows yet. XLE energy, been up a bit higher, but now we're 3 weeks into it. We have these lower channels potentially seeing energy potentially move down into this 86, 87, maybe 84 area. Energy could be a big decline if we're not cautious and we're aware of it. We have to be very aware right now of what's happening. XLF financials, this is one of the ones that really set me off. Look at this big downturn. We're now 3 weeks into it. So remember, we're now over here. We are now looking at 1, 2, 3. We're now looking at this area potentially as a low. and or this area as a moderate upward type of trending. So again, we're if my anomaly event hits, we could see a big breakdown in XLF from where we're at right now up in 40, probably $48 roughly. We could see a move down here to 41, 42. That could be huge. That's like a 12% downturn. And we have this basing setting up all the way out here until middle of December, where we start to move back into consolidation and rally up a bit higher. And every single chart has this same rotation. All of the sector spiders. Here's XLI, which has been on a tear lately. You've got the same type of setup, same type of low range down here. Even the moderate middle area puts us back down at pre-election levels at 341. So, we come back over here. Let me come to here. Nope. Nope. Here. Nope. That's where is it? Here. So we come back over here, and I have a lot of charts, guys. And people keep complaining about my lines. Whatever. Look at XLI. So this is monthly, right? Let's go down to weekly. And look at this move after the election. We're back up here at 143, and we have a chance to maybe move down here to this level. This is potentially a 12% decline between now and call it December 16th. Potentially. Okay, XLF, which is over here. XLF. We have a potential for, maybe a move down. Oops. Okay, let's just get this. Maybe for about a 15, almost 16% decline if my anomaly hits. Maybe only down here into 11 and 12. So, but the anomaly event is setting up. And that's what I really wanted to show you back over here. So this is my, what I call a crash index. And you can, here's the symbol, write it down, pause the video. You can see it's very simple. It's XLF, IYT, transports, gold, and XOP, energy. What we're looking for is a roll potentially downward. Now, I wanted to point something out here, and I'm going to do this by going to monthly data. And I want you to see that throughout this data, yep, go away. So where are we when we get up into this level like we had just recently gotten into? I've marked them here on the chart. So the first time was October 2007, okay, right near a rolling downturn. Secondarily was right up this peak here at around 2011, right after the bottom, right after this downturn, okay? Next, we had the next big peak occurred right over here. I mean, we danced around it for a while, but 2013, moderate consolidation headed into the election. Notice how high we got here in 2013 before the crash index really started to consolidate a bit downward. And what you're seeing here is devaluation of, gold and oil and the economy in general, really struggling until back over here, 2020, where we actually took back off with a hard asset rally. Gold took off, oil took off, and the markets took off because of COVID. So where we're at right now, we've come up and we've hit this level. We've got gold moving slightly downward here. We've got the SPY moving higher. We've got the dollar moving higher up in 107, 106, rather high overall. Look at these levels. So right over here at this level, the dollar was 83. Right over here at this level, the dollar was 77. At this level, the dollar was 77. We've got a stronger dollar. We've got a extreme kind of an upper level peak that is similar to kind of a pre-topping formation. I don't believe we're going to be topping here, but the one answer that I have for you here is that, what we're looking at is a very strong dollar. And I believe that we're looking at really, if you were to take a look at this from a standpoint of kind of a, let's call it an Elliott wave type of mode, which may or may not be valid. But, and I tend to do this when I'm just drawing them. So I tend to pick, and then what I'll do is I'll come, what I see is the first wave off the low, come down here, second wave, which will normally be at least as large as the first wave, potential second wave. And if this is an ABC, this puts us right back up into this type of a peak wave here. And it puts us all the way out into December. So roughly this area, December, January, before we get that real roll. So, and again, could take longer. So, I'm just giving you an idea here. Could take much longer out into this area. But what I believe we're going to be looking at is in 2025, 2026, I think we're going to be looking at some sort of a pullback in this system. Not quite like that. It's going to be a minor pullback, but it's going to be a pullback, setting up maybe something like this. So, where we could be with this, ladies and gentlemen, is if you look at this move here on the SPY, here's essentially, and this is really, by my analysis, wave 4. So you can count this as wave 4. This is what I consider wave 1 moving up. And this is now moving into wave 3, moving up of a wave 1. This is wave 5. Really, this was 3, 4 coming down. This is wave 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5. But this is really wave 1 of 5. This is going to continue much higher going out. But again, the point behind this video is that we are likely up near some sort of a major exhaustion period, likely like we saw right here, rolling a bit and rolling a bit and rolling a bit. So I would not be surprised to see a moderate roll downward into this area, trying to base all the way out into this area before we really start to rally up into a big, broad expansion phase. So this gives us some potential definition for a rollover anomaly event. And what you would be watching for is a rollover here in this data. You would be watching for the crash index to potentially roll downward, the dollar to potentially roll downward, the S&P to potentially roll downward, and of course gold and silver rolling downward. Now gold and silver, I will warn you, are likely to find a base bottom and rally up into this 3,000 area. So be aware. I think gold is trying to make 3,000 happen before the end of this year, but we are likely going to get some sort of a pullback here in the crash index, possibly down into these areas, trying to pull out of it into December, and not necessarily like this. I'll leave that though. We're looking for a pullback here, guys. This is the anomaly event setting up. And, what we're looking at right now, I mean, take a look at, in fact, let me come back over here and take a look at the SPY daily. Came right up to this low or this high level and rejected. Beautiful little rejection point. Bitcoin, oh my God, Bitcoin really just collapsed. This is weekly. Look at this on an hourly basis. This is a big breakdown in Bitcoin, taking out lows, breaking down. I mean, we're very likely moving back into this flagging setup. You can see this flagging apex across here, and really kind of across here. And I would suggest that we're probably going to be headed right down to that level. So 88,650 roughly. And that makes sense to me that Bitcoin's going to wash out all of this, try to find a low here. And if it can't, then we could be moving all the way back down. But this is a good sign that the bubble is ending. The anomaly event is setting up. We would be looking for this in other sectors as well, like the NASDAQ has yet to actually break downward. I can really just clearly see this rotation. We've got a little flagging formation right here. This is an hourly chart coming up, coming down, flagging, breaking down. We got to get below this low. If we do, we're probably going to come all the way back down into this area and then eventually maybe back down into this area finding support. Maybe. We take a look at the QQQ. I should have this data already here. Yep, there's the anomaly event data. Now remember, this is 1 hour data. Okay. Hedge to the downside, 2 or 3 day opportunity to hedge. That was originally back over in this area. So here's our flagging. Look at this. So we get our rally. We come back up, come back down. You can clearly see this flag. I tried to draw it here with this. It didn't plan out the way I wanted, but so here's our flagging, right, guys? And here's our downward projected area based on the anomaly event. So if we get the breakdown that's likely to happen, we're probably going to come down here, consolidate, and then break down into this lower level. And again, this is the anomaly event setting up. Remember, we're looking for this December 9th and 10th area here. This is December 9th, 10th, 11th, right in here. That's where I think we're going to find the bottom. And I think we're moving into that anomaly event right now. In fact, I was watching, the NASDAQ just now open back up, and you can see it's breaking down. We'll come in here and go to 30-minute. You can see that the trading opened up and started to break down pretty hard. So here's our flagging, here's our breakdown, here's our channel across those lows. It's setting up for an anomaly event breaking down here, looking for that breakdown event potentially if my anomaly plays out. So be aware, I think it's coming, guys. And I want you to watch this crash index, okay? We'll see how it plays out, but I want you to watch this crash index. And again, remember, there's a reason why back over here, I suggested everybody get to 80 to 85% cash near these highs. Yeah, the post-election rally was great and everything is good and we're back up near all-time highs here. But if I'm right, you would have been better just to avoid most of this volatility getting chewed around, because we're going to end up right back down over here, pre-election zone, and we're going to be looking for a buy area right out here on near Christmas and around December 10th or 11th. So we'll see. But it would certainly be interesting if my anomaly event plays out to the downside, breaks all the way down into this level, maybe down to this level, and tries to base and form this sideways rotation into early December. We don't have much further to go. I mean, we're going to know within the next 2 or 3 weeks either way. So pay attention. If I'm right, it's coming. And if I'm wrong, you'll be able to buy into it no matter what. You can do what you want to do. I'm just giving you my interpretation here. So if you like what I do, pay attention to it. If you think my charts look funny, well, I can't help you. But just follow along. Remember, I called for this anomaly event the weekend before the election, a little over 2 weeks ago. So we'll see if it plays out. Because if it does, look back over here again. If it does, some of these sectors like XLI could break down considerably. 10, 12%, maybe more. And that's not what you want to get caught in a long open position into the end of the year. I mean, do you really want to get into end of year down 12, 13% after seeing this nice rally? I mean, you'd be all the way back here to May, June price levels, potentially. So again, that's why I said hedge. Get to 80 to 85% cash. You buy back in right over here. Wherever that low happens to be, we're going to try to catch it and buy back in. This is called active management. This is what you want to do to try to protect your capital, which is a number one rule for trading. I just had for those of you who remember Escape from New York, uh, a number one. I think that was a taxi. Ernest Borgnine was his name. Really quite incredible. So we'll talk to you later, guys. That's my update for now.